Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for receiving us on Talking Points. Thanks for staying with us. We are receiving political analysts and educationists. We are receiving Dr. Nick NGWANYAM. Doctor, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you. It looks like it's boiling over, so one has to come more often.
Yes, we're happy to have you, especially when key issues have to be discussed. You watched the news from start. What caught your attention in reports?
I think there were about 3 or 4 things that caught my attention. First, you know, this issue of this white man calling us Negroes. I think we've gone past that, and for no reason someone should come to my house and insult me. I find that very, very insulting, really. Yeah, I followed it on social media, and I think it's not because someone comes to do work for us that he should take advantage to be insulting us. It's an insult, and I could see that the administration was playing games with him and so on. When you insult us, that is a no-go area. It should not be done. And then I was listening to what the medical doctor from Kongsamba was saying. When it comes to public health education, I mean, there's nothing like a doctor who is trained to just work in a hospital and somehow to educate people. No, a medical doctor is first your preventive. That is, talking about health issues is the medical doctor's responsibility. You have to educate the population. Just sitting in the hospital trying to treat the sick is not the way. And therefore I'm telling the doctor and all doctors and the whole nation that it's the place of all doctors to come out like soldiers and then educate the whole nation about this and stay at the forefront of the fight. You know, we all backed up, and you saw administrators going up and people going up and so on, and then native doctors going up and so on, and you kind of like you've abandoned your work to some other people. No, what the medical doctor in Kumba was saying, is saying he will be treating the sick ones, and in Kongsamba, wherever, he will be treating the sick ones, and people who are talking should be talking. No, that's not correct. Everybody, every medical doctor, you're supposed to take the frontline measure and be out there educating the people, as they say in French, le grave.
Yes.
And then, of course, I think there was some squabbles with land and so on.
Yeah, we had some challenges, disputed portion of land that is threatening, that is the peace between the people of Livanda village and those of Bonadekumbo, all in Limbe.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have these demographic explosions and so on. And I hope that, you know, they would find some peace there, because each time there's something in the northwest, in the southwest, they always accuse northwesterners, but I think this time around it has nothing to do with northwesterners, and therefore we should look for some peace out there.
Doc, I wanted you to say more than a word on that issue of those striking in Yaoundé, where the manager of the company in charge of construction says that director calls them Negro. Because I got some of the except though they were in French, will not put them in the English news, where the people are even more worried. They say the man is insultive. Apart from not only not paying their dues, he's also insultive. But at the same time, we find the SDO for the Upper Sanaga and the governor playing on his side.
Yeah. I noticed that. I mean, when you have an administration that sells the birthright of a people to foreigners, you run into this kind of a problem. And they are calling it Negro. The SDO, they think that probably they are calling by the workers Negro. They are calling even you, the SDO, Negro. They are calling our president Negro.
Absolutely.
They are insulting all of us, and we sit there and we are begging for little things to mimbo. I mean, stand up and defend yourselves. You don't allow someone to come to your house and insult you and your
Cameroon is a dirty country.
No.
To say the law is not meant to protect Negroes.
No. I don't tolerate that, and that is the problem with most of these people. You know, when it means to go around and beat people on the streets, they will do that. Then when a white man or a foreigner comes, and then you begin to beg. This is beggarly attitude.
Okay.
Shame.
Now, as we proceed faster, you're also a medical doctor, and you are actually asking medical doctors to come out and fight. But unfortunately, in most cases, when we as journalists go to get interviews, we have incidents in some hospitals. They are not welcoming. They don't also want to come out to tell us what exactly happens. And when we go with stories from some sources closer, they turn out and they are saying like journalists are not doing their work right.
It's a country where it's been functioning. A lot of people have not been taught to communicate. You know, we are human beings, and communication is a key factor of the human existence, and you must communicate. And if it has to do with health issues, and you are a medical doctor, you are in the health sector, you are the one who has to come to the forefront and communicate. I think they just feel so how do I say it? so small or so cornered because you know the thing was taken over by administrators, and then they went to a corner and were sleeping and said, no, you the doctors, you're supposed to stand up and talk. Unless you see, we are going to be talking about vaccinations now, but what is our capacity to even know whether the vaccines are good or not? It's because of this attitude where our technologies are not right, we don't stand on our feet, and we keep thinking that we are small. And even if you're small, learn the right thing and do it right.
We've got some issues, burning issues. We headline our news on one of these issues, that is the fight between centralization and decentralization in the Southwest region. We have two communiques that are making rounds on social media. We got, first of all, that of the Southwest regional delegate of the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development, asking his collaborator in the Meme division that he will soon be coming for a tour to control councils. And a few days later, the SDO for Meme comes and is calling the regional delegate that no, it is not in your right to do this, you are not supposed to do this. I am the overall, I am the man that is being empowered by the law to control councils within the Meme. You can do that elsewhere, but not within the Meme.
I love that. Honestly, I wish we have more of these fights all over the whole nation. I really wish we had more of those fights. It would be great, because you know, when I started talking about my Confederation, it was because I could see this bicephalism, or as you would call it, fight over this, that, because the power lines are not very clear. Okay, it's a wishy-washy kind of thing. If you put all of them in a hall and you start questioning them, put all the administrators and whatever, put all of them and start questioning them. Yeah, put all of them. Okay, let's go to a region now and see. Okay, there's the regional delegate for decentralization. He is there. There is the governor. He is there. There are those SDOs. They are there. And then now there are about two other people that were elected.
Yes,
I don't even know their names.
Council.
Something for regional council. What is that? What is it for the region?
Yes, we had assemblies. We have regional council.
Yeah. You said I don't even retain them because they make no sense.
I know that.
Yes, they don't make sense. You have that one. Then you have another one that is appointed to look. So about 5-6 persons in a small area. All of them administrators and secretary of the region doing nothing. Don't know how to make a penny. Only waiting for people to send jama and pay them, and they are doing absolutely nothing. Just stepping on each other's toes because we refuse to sort out the problems of the nation properly. If we have sorted out the problems of the nation properly, we will not have people stepping on each other's toes. You will have just one elected governor, and then if you come to the divisions, you elect somebody who works in the capacity of the SDO, but he is not appointed. It's because now you are having people who are appointed and then people who are elected. Nobody knows what to do, and then you know they're just stepping on each other's toes, fighting for influence.
Well, Cameroonians, especially those in the Anglophone regions, expected a proper implementation, the clear and clearly defined implementation of decentralization, which the government has said could be a solution to the Anglophone crisis. It doesn't but at the level of implementation, we are still having challenges.
It doesn't work because nobody can define to you what special status is, and as long as we don't step back and do this thing as it ought to be, it will not work. Let me put it in there. Let me give you a sound example how we have to understand this. Now imagine we have a thick forest and we must create a road through this thick forest. In the first part of our work, we come with a bulldozer and we open the road. All right. Once you have opened the road with the bulldozer, then you come with a grader and you do the finishing. So that's how Cameroon has to be decentralized. And by the way, when we say decentralization, when the Americans and Canadians are using that word, they mean, you know, centralized means everything is there in the center. Decentralized means, you know, push it aside. And then, I mean, spread it to the periphery. And there are different words and mechanisms of spreading it to the periphery. But when it comes to Cameroon, we use this decentralization to mean the 10 regions. And then, even when we do what we call decentralization, we do some piecemeal kind of thing that is not working and is very deceitful. We need to make things so that they work. Either we are there to make things work or not. Because when we keep playing tricks like this, and these things came out of decentralization, I mean, that major national dialogue, which was actually intended to solve the Anglophone problem, but it you know, they played around it. So that's why we are having all these difficulties, and that's why I'm saying I need more of this fight to prove the point. We need to break up Cameroon into two. We have to go through phases. Cameroon is a big, huge chunk now. Break it first into West Cameroon, East Cameroon, then go inside West Cameroon and East Cameroon, and break West Cameroon into that I think called decentralization. Break it into two units in West Cameroon. Break it into 8 units in East Cameroon, and then make sure that you put new wine into new wine skins. What do I mean? These appointed SDOs and governors and all these appointed people, they were there since from 1960, and they have just one mindset in maintaining law and order. But how they create economic activities, they don't know. How they create wealth, they don't know. How they solve other problems beyond maintaining law and order is something that is beyond them, and that's why we are having this chaos. And if we are having a lot of problems now, you see, a lot of youth don't have work, and so on. So we need to come up with a new mindset where we are creating opportunities for youth. All these youths riding motorcycle on the streets and falling out of our universities, what they need is not law and order. What they need is economic opportunities. What we need is to move the country forward, and it's not in their power. They don't have the capacity to do it. And besides, anyway, I'm glad that there is this other school for administration that is coming up in Boya. I hope that they will be given the powers, and then what we call ENAM will be downgraded or even shut down, so that we come up with a new breed of people who know exactly what to do. Because as I said in a WhatsApp message somewhere, I said 80% of our problems in Cameroon come from ENAM. They are caused by ENAM, and someone said I was even very generous.
Now, Doc, you are outlining where something different could be done, but you started from defining it globally. It looks different from what we have as decentralization. But when you get to the people, that is very close to the people, you still talk about decentralization. Is that your kind of decentralization that might come even within the state of the confederated state of West Cameroon, going to be the same like the one we have in? And if it is the same, what are the chances that the problems, the fighting for power and to control council budget and finances will not be there?
That's right. You affect cap, affect très serious. That's what the fight is. People want to look for ways they can grab money and so on. Make it very clear. West Cameroon, East Cameroon, there are mechanisms for sharing the budget and so on. And then as long as you don't appoint people there, and the people who are there are elected by the grassroots, then there will be a working understanding between the grassroots and those people who are elected. And then if you don't do your job well, they throw you out, and then they put someone there who will do the job the way they want. And then the government can appoint a spy to come in there and be watching over what the elected officials are doing, but he has no right to dictate to the elected people. If you don't do that, we will keep having this mix up, and nothing will work.
All right, and now we need to proceed, Doc. A decentralization that came within the context of that is the law on the General Code of Regional and local, local authorities. It came in 2019. That is preached and presented by government officials as a major step to resolve the Anglophone crisis. We are seeing its lapses, and the one we've just described now. Another angle where Cameroonians expected that there could be a possible resolution to the Anglophone crisis was the window of the National Assembly. But since the Anglophone crisis started sometime in 2016, we have had not less than 16 sessions of the National Assembly. I'm talking about ordinary sessions. We've not had the Anglophone crisis on the table of discussion or for discussion. What chances do we have that this session of 2021 will have the Anglophone crisis on the table?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not looking forward to them discussing. Even if they discuss it, they will just be singing some kind of a song that makes no sense, because over time they have shown that they're incapable of solving a problem, and I don't blame them. And for starters, let's make a good statement here to say that the Senate is not really very useful in Cameroon, and that's something that should be brushed away. And then the money that we are using to run the Senate, run the Bilingualism Commission, run the Social and Economic Council, that money should be taken, and then we train our youths how to grow rice, how to grow fish, and create these economic opportunities more useful than wasting it on something that doesn't work. Now, when it comes to the parliament, they are who they are, and then they need to be panel beaten and corrected. And of course, they are going to be electing their
members,
officials.
the bureau members.
I just hope, when there was about a year ago or so, I noticed something very interesting up in the Marwa area there, where Mr. Kavayege went, and they were in this hall, and they were talking. I don't know what occasion it was, but it had to do either with the party or some 20th May or whatever. I can't remember. But there's one gentleman who is fair in complexion. He tall, and he was wearing some white bubu. He stood up and was laying some complaints to Mr. Gabriel, and I was so disappointed, because the people were bringing their local problems to them, and the man said that he was going to carry them to hierarchy. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he is hierarchy, and they're giving you small problems at your nose, you can't solve them, and then you say you take them to hierarchy. I mean, it's really a shame, and I hope that somebody who's newer and wiser can come there.
President, is that man from the Fano region, one of the regions considered as the worst in Cameroon in terms of development, social basic amenities. But he's been president of the National Assembly.
In the north, there are no schools, the children don't have benches, and so you expect probably President Pobia to go and do that. I mean, he gives you the power, gives everything, but people just turn around, steal the money, and don't do the jobs, and now the country is falling apart, and the same people run around, je vais dire au président, tu vas dire au power president.
And not only him, we've also had the president of the Senate, Masenya Difenji, who's been consistently absent from Senate sessions.
The beautiful thing is that President Pobia is prescribing everything, and what he is interested in now is interested in reconciliation and unity of the nation. And for reconciliation to happen, there's going to be a series of things that would clear up this bad governance and many other things, and you will see a lot of things happening.
Thanks, Dr. Nick NGWANYAM. It was an interesting chat with you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying with us. Stay on Equinox Television. Coming up is Equinoxwa with Serge Alain Otto and his guests. Wow, Doc.